terms of his being able to do his job?
Well, that's the thing. I think Judge Merchan thought wrongly that he was striking an appropriate middle ground here by, on one hand, not dismissing the case entirely, but on the other hand, not really imposing any punishment on Trump. But your point is right in that the whole idea of presidential immunity is that you can't burden a president of the United States with having to litigate a criminal defense while he's president. But what Judge Merchan is doing is he is forcing Trump to litigate his appeal of this conviction while he is president of the United States. So it's not clear to me that it solves the constitutional issue. But look, I agree with John. I think that by and large, Trump is going to be able to use this to his advantage. If nothing else, there's a big win of just blowing this whole case out of Judge Merchan's courtroom. He wasn't going to get a favorable ruling from Judge Merchan. Now he can take the case. Now he can take the appeal on to a new panel of judges and challenge the underlying conviction.
Yeah, but John, we're talking about first the appeal goes to New York, the Supreme Court of New York, which is not favorable to a Republican president. So this appeal process, how long could it take? And by the end of his first term, or by the end of this term, are we talking years? Are we talking months? Are we talking how long did it take for the president to maybe get rid of this altogether on appeal?
You're asking a hard question. As Yogi Berra said, it's hard to make predictions, especially about the future. But let me just say, I would say a year. I think that you're right, as a criminal defendant gets accelerated forward. I think Trump could get to not just the highest court in New York State, but he might be able to get to the Supreme Court in a year. And here's another thing we haven't considered. The Trump Justice Department can now make life very difficult for the state of New York if the DA here intends to keep pushing this, if the court system here intends to keep pushing this, violating President Trump's right, as Tom said, as the commander-in-chief and the chief executive to run the country, to harass him with this kind of litigation. I think President Trump and his Justice Department are going to have to consider taking retaliatory measures against New York State, cutting off funds, refusing to cooperate and help New York State in a variety of different ways.
So, Tom, I want to ask you this.